Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Yo, what's poppin'?
Hey, LeRon.
Hey, Corey.
I missed you. I missed you last week.
Yeah, I missed you too. Well, I mean, you just missed seeing my face, but we talked to each other all week last week.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
That's fair.
so yeah, like you didn't miss me. Like you just missed enough of me.
I feel like if I don't see you, it doesn't count.
Oh, okay,
You know?
yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Because I feel like if I don't see you guys at least once a week, something's not right.
Yeah. Well,
Look at us being our own mutual admiration society.
I know. We're like a good bra. We're very supportive. Speaking of supportive, also here's PK Power Pat Klein.
Consider me the wire that holds it all together.
He's the push-up. That's
The
what he
push-up.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm the one that gives you the form.
Oh gosh. Everybody loves good form. Everybody enjoying their is this the first week? It's already the first week of March. What's going on? What happened this month, this year?
Right?
I know it's March already. How did that happen?
Time just marches on.
I have no explanation for it.
I also don't. It's just I just think, like, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and it's like 2065 and I'm just in a hospital bed somewhere just waiting for the call. But until then, we're here to talk about video games. And we've been playing some, I think. I've almost finished my third game of the year. I'm on the very last level. Of course, if I was just smart enough, I would have finished it already. But it's fine. It's good. I have a few things to talk about actually, but we can talk about that when it's my turn. But I'm gonna go. You know what? We very rarely start with Pat, so I'm going to ask Pat. Pat, keep quiet while LeRon tells us what he's playing. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Go
Pat,
for it.
Pat, what are you playing? What are you joysticking and button pressing?
Well, I'd be shooting the guns towards the zombie people in Resident Evil Requiem.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
How's that treating you? How's Leon S. Kennedy looking?
He's looking mighty fine. For
Is he
a guy
surviving?
that's sick, he's still pretty damn strong.
Is he sick? Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
He's got that bruising going on.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. Well, yep.
I just saw an image floating around of him in a maid's outfit, and I got really confused and concerned, and just closed the tab on my window. So.
Are you sure you didn't minimize it so that you could look at it safely later?
Shh. Incognito.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. You know what? Everyone is simping on Leon S. Kennedy. Like, have you seen all the different promotions on Twitter? You have Nintendo simping on Leon S. Kennedy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sony was simping on Leon S. Kennedy. Even McDonald's is now simping on Leon S. Kennedy.
Where's the love for Grace?
I mean, she was also on the McDonald's one too, but it's all about the Leon S. Kennedy. That's why they promoted Grace early, is because everyone knew that once Leon entered the scene, it was going to be a him show.
I mean, I guess that's fine, but also, I don't know. I kind of like Grace. She seems all right.
Yeah, she is. Actually, she is a awesome protagonist in the new Resident Evil game. Her character is very much very personal. Like, you can easily relate to her. She is an extremely antisocial person, does not really talk to anyone or anything, primarily just works and then goes home And so now she is thrust into this conspiracy of evil.
Is it a
That is out to
conspiracy?
get
This is the
her.
9th one. Is it a conspiracy at this point?
It's a conspiracy every freaking time, man. They find something new to be like, and this was all
Something.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, something's happening.
I mean, you got Wesker over here. You got the president's daughter over here trying to simp on Leon. It just feels like, I don't know, man. Feels like something. You think Leon knows? You think he knows
that all this is a setup to get Leon to go to certain locations and show off his guns?
Just a question, just wanted to make sure.
You got to play the game to find out. Like, is that the true scenario that's going on?
But I've got like 5 other ones to play before this one.
I mean, this game is connected to quite a few of the Resident Evil games, which is really cool. It's nice how they continue to take the Resident Evil lore and continue to spin it in new ways and bring up new revelations that you kind of didn't see coming, but also, they probably didn't also see coming until they decided, hey, we could probably morph it into this kind of or evolve the story in this such a way. But what's cool is that you do go back into Raccoon City with this one, and there's a lot of nostalgia in some of the places that you visit in it. The game is absolutely gorgeous.
Nice.
The blood physics are insanely crazy in this game. Like, they will splatter everywhere, and the splatters just stay. Like, they'll just dry up on the wall and the ceilings, and you get some nice good explosion, like bursts that just it's a lot of good splattering going on with the blood. Atmosphere, beautiful. It's dark, it's moody. There are some really creepy zombies in this game. And what's cool is that a lot of these zombies also have backstories behind them too.
What?
That's right.
What?
Yeah. There's like 2 singing zombies that have like backstories in this. Like, the zombies are a little smarter now. The T virus has mutated in such a way that the victims kind of still have some memories of their prior self, and so those memories or tendencies tend to also like amplify in the zombie as well. Such as if someone, like, one of them was like a zombie that loved to eat, and the virus kind of mutated that part of his brain so that he kind of became this giant, like, flabby zombie that just needs to constantly eat. So
nice.
But yeah,
as
Grace
opposed to
is
what
a
zombies
fantastic.
normally do.
Also eat, but not as ferociously.
Yeah, I know.
They also tend to speak a little bit now too. They have a little bit of some vocabulary. Like, the fat one keeps like telling you to go fuck you, and it's weird. But
cool.
The game has definitely crossed the line of trying to be like realistic to being more of like that fantasy that most men have about being action stars. I feel it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it still fits the mold in Resident Evil, but it's also like, it's definitely more unrealistic than it has been. It's starting to cross that line into Bayonetta unrealistic with some of the action scenes. But yeah, Grace's parts they're quite suspenseful. There are several times you're being chased around by creatures of immense power. And then Leon is definitely more of an action-based combat, or more of an action-based level. Like, he will have multiple hordes of zombies coming after him, but he also has like all the guns. So
this kind of sounds like what they wanted to do with 6, but never quite got there, of like multiple play styles. But
yeah, no, they took what I think made a lot of the Resident Evils good. Like you have the hallways and corridors of like 2. You have the gunplay of 4, and then you also have the first person view of 7, and they mix them all into this game. And
But you can play the whole
it's
game
good
third
marriage.
person, though, right?
You can. In fact, the game kind of recommends that you do Grace as a first person, but you can switch her over to third. And then they recommend that you do Leon as third person, but you could also switch him over to first. So, the game has that play style, but you can change it however you want to change it.
Good.
But it's a beautiful game. It's a very fun game. It is definitely in my top 5 Resident Evils. I think when I was talking about it with Stoy last night on the Gamescast, like I probably put it as like my 4th favorite, but Stoy thinks this is like one of his top 3.
Nice.
So you said it's your top 5. So what are your other 4?
Code Veronica, 2,
The original 2 or
7,
remake? Okay.
7, and remake 3.
Remake 3?
Yeah, would be 5.
Okay. That's
Yep.
that. I respect that. Because I would say remake 3, remake 2, remake 3, remake 2. I haven't played 7 and 8, unfortunately. Code Veronica for sure. RE4 maybe. I'll tell you more about it because I just got RE4 Gold Edition. So RE4 Remake Gold Edition. So I might, actually Retro X podcast in our chat talking about Remake 3. That's a take. Now, you know what? Let me just go ahead and justify this. Like, I love Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, like from the old PS1 days. I love that game. But if I'm being really serious, they did a lot to actually make the story more cohesive in the RE3 remake. Also take into account that they were doing RE3 remake and RE2 remake at the same time. So the two teams were working together to make sure everything was seamless. But they ran out of time.
Weren't they supposed to be packaged together originally?
Packaged together as a twofer. Yep. Yeah. So yeah. But honestly, like I like what they did with RE3 remake, even though like Clock Tower is missing. Who cares about the graveyard? I'm just gonna say that right now. Like okay, the waste disposal plant. Okay, yeah, like that's kind of crucial. But the fact that Jill wound up back in the Nest facility, and the Nest facility was also a big deal in Resident Evil 2 remake. Like I like that. I appreciate that. They tried to make the two games work together. Because everybody knows the Resident Evil history knows that RE2 and 3 were taking place around the same concurrent around the same time, like within 2 days of each other.
Yep, it goes 3, but then 2 takes place during a break in 3, and then 3 picks back up right after 2 finishes.
Yeah, technically they say the timeline is like when Jill was like knocked out because she was infected. That was when RE2 was picking up.
Yep.
Isn't the whole thing like Resident Evil, because they Capcom signed some sort of agreement with PlayStation that they would have 3 numbered games on the PlayStation, that like they had to call that Resident Evil 3, even though Code Veronica is kind of like the true sequel, and 3 is more of what we would probably call an expansion these days.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and honestly, like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis technically shouldn't have happened, but they were also committed to 3 games for the PlayStation. They committed to that, so they were already working on Code Veronica, and it just happened to be on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I it's always weird to see like to learn the little tidbits of those things, right? Or like what games were supposed to be what, and then they were turned into something else, or what the true sequel is supposed to be, or that sort of thing. It's always fun to see that sort of thing. So, and then we got the best Resident Evil on the GameCube anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
The RE1 remake?
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I installed the RE1 remake on the on my ROG Ally. I was planning on playing it, but I've been playing other Capcom games on my ROG Ally.
Capcom, man.
Capcom,
shout out, killing it.
They are killing it. And by the time you guys all listen to this episode, if you're not listening to it live, there'll be a Capcom
a new event
spotlight tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, tomorrow, really?
Yeah.
What are they showing? What are they?
Monster Hunter, Mega Man, Star Force, Mega Man 11, not 11. The Dual Overdrive. But I think they said they might be announcing the robot. The awards for the robot master design. So I don't know if they're officially also announcing who won, but they'll at least be giving off prizes to some of the ones who lost.
That's cool, though. I think that was a cool thing that they brought back, even though it's not really the same thing, but it's still really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Stoy, to answer your question, I sure as hell hope that they're going to announce something here soon. They said they're going to revisit the Phoenix Wright series. Like, that was one of their top series that they need to revisit again. So
what if Capcom did a full Resident Evil 2 style remake of Phoenix Wright, where everything was in full 3D open world
I would say objection to that.
Well,
Yeah. Or you'll just see Nemesis on the other side of the courtroom going. It'll be in caption too, STARR or STAAR.
Jesus, y'all are. There's something wrong with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You brought it up, not us.
Who brought it up?
Yep.
I don't know. It was me, I think, actually.
I know you're not talking to me.
Always talking to you, LeRon.
But yeah, if anyone's ever interested in trying to get into Resident Evil, this has a lot of ties back to the old series, but it's still very playable on its own. And also the game's got a really good villain to it. Victor Gideon, the doctor with this face mask, he looks kind of dumb, but he's been very enjoyable to watch. His scenes are very entertaining. He's almost got this Heath Ledger Joker quality, where he's a very soft-spoken and kind of polite personality, but there's also that hint of this guy is mad, crazy.
Nice. Yeah, he looks creepy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously I've seen the trailers and stuff, and he just looks really scary, creepy looking, I don't know, drippy, oozy, kind of just give him a shower.
He looks greasy. He's very pale. His hair is all straggly. His teeth are yellow. He looks like he smells really freaking bad. But he's very entertaining when he speaks. As well as a few other scenes, but you got to play the game to see those really crazy scenes.
Yeah, I'll get to it someday, maybe. That's a franchise on my list this year. Although cool. If these freaking Fire Emblem games, I just feel stupid playing them, but I gotta finish it,
Yep.
Can't go unfinished.
Gotta pick it up. You gotta pick it up, dust it off, just go through it, Corey. Just rip it like a Band-Aid and just suck up. Put your big boy pants on. Maybe a diaper if you need to piss yourself while playing these games, but you're gonna play them.
I really don't think I'm gonna So I've been like thinking about. I mean, I've been thinking about Resident Evil a lot lately, obviously because the new one is out, but also like I've actually played a lot more Resident Evil than I remember. Like off the top of the head, where you're like, oh, I don't think I've played that franchise, and you start thinking, well, I've played through 1, I've played most of 0, I've played through 4 and 4 remake, 5, 6. I've played what are the 3DS one, Revelations. Like I've played a lot. I've played a lot of Resident Evil, more than I actually thought I did. But obviously, those ones aren't the scary ones. So one's kind of scary, but
I mean, just switch it to third person mode.
Yeah,
but
play with the lights on in the middle of the day. Have my wife sitting next to me, holding my hand, and, making sure I'm okay. That sort of thing. She'll just be like, "Yeah, right. Get out of here." I'll be like, "Okay, bye."
She's like, "Just give me the controller. I'll get you past that part."
Yeah. Well, are you playing anything else, Pat? Anything else interesting, fun, new?
No, that's really the only new thing I've been playing. Noteworthy for this show.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, Resident Evil. A series I really want to love, and I don't know. I don't know why I can't just get past the hurdle. But LeRon, what are you playing? You said you're playing a lot of Capcom games. Speaking of,
actually, that more like playing a lot of a Capcom game. The Monster Hunter Stories 3 demo or trial version or whatever you want to call it. I am thinking this is probably going to be my best, my favorite entry in the Monster Hunter series. Like, first of all, like anyone who's ever played any of the demo versions of the Monster Hunter Stories games, you're playing about a good solid I'd say like if you do it right, you're playing a good 10, 15 hours of the actual intro of the game and stuff like that. So like this is a good way to get yourself acclimated to the style of the game. There's a new I like the way they remixed the battle system for the game. Like if you played a lot of Monster Hunter Stories 2, you're already familiar with it, but now like it seems like there is a lot more involved in the in battle, because it seems like you always have a secondary hunter with you. So of course you can't control like what they do and how they synergize with their monster companion. But some interesting stuff does happen to where like basically like everybody just winds up dogpiling on the opponents and all that stuff. It's really fun. I like it. I like the changes. I'm still getting used to some of it. I guess like I've gotten a little rusty because I've not so much that I've forgotten like what the weaknesses are of the monsters. It's more like I've forgotten their tendencies of the monsters. So like I'll accidentally like do a technique attack when I should have done a speed attack or something like that, And it's because I've just forgotten like how the monsters attack from the previous games. Like because like Velociprey, for example, they use a speed attack for you, so you're supposed to use a technique attack to thwart them and win the outcome and stuff like that. I've just kind of forgotten the monster tendencies and stuff like that. I love the story, and I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of these Monster Hunter games always saying Rathalos is the problem.
Isn't Rathalos always the problem?
Rathalos and Rathian are my favorite monsters, and I'm getting tired of them. All 3 games, Rathalos is the problem. I'm getting tired of this.
Excuse me, sir. They're called Monsties.
Yeah,
it's always the red dragon every time. The red dragon.
And I think that's a theme too, because like a lot of like fantasy like type stuff, particularly in Japanese fantasy and stuff like that. Like it's the red dragons or the black dragons are always wrecking shit.
Now that's racist.
They haven't introduced any black dragons in the Monster Hunter series. And when I say black dragons, I mean like, well, they had a Fatalis, but that was more like a bonus, like like once in New Game Plus where you're fighting the tower, but beyond that, like the black dragons that really cause all the calamities in the mainstream Monster Hunter titles, most of them never been a thing for stories. And they always make up a new monster, you know, for like a final boss monster. They always make up a new monster for the Monster Hunter Stories game. So I can't wait to see what 3 has in store for us. I do like the storyline. The storyline is great. Like they're definitely focusing a lot more on like the actual the characters, you know. And that's saying a lot because Monster Hunter Stories 2 did a lot for like character progression and growth, you know. But this game, it seems like you like they're making you the player more the center focus of the game, you know. At least based off of what I've seen in this trial so far. But yeah, it's fun. It's Monster Hunter, you know, like hatch those eggs, get your, you know, add the monsters to your stable. I already can't wait to see like what monsters I can get this time around.
Nice.
And then I'm still playing Front Mission 3. Go ahead, Corey. What were you about to say?
I was going to say I really liked what I played on Monster Hunter Stories too. This one looks really nice. Like I hope it runs well on the Switch too.
This is the most beautiful entry in the Monster Hunter Stories series because Monster Hunter Stories 1, you know, basically was like, you know, it was like a kiddie version of Monster Hunter for the most part, you know, even like the way they designed the characters and the actual monsters themselves and stuff like that. Monster Hunter Stories 2, like, you know, like it still had that kid theme going on, but the monsters actually looked, you know, they actually looked more true to their form from the Monster Hunter series, for the main series and stuff like that. They didn't look like chibi-fied like versions of those monsters and stuff like that. And Monster Hunter Stories,
I think the last 2 though, right? Because like they were made for 3DS and Switch originally, right? So like they had to change certain things because of just the sheer lack of power on those machines. But I feel like the Switch 2 is generally, you know, just as powerful as like a low end console at this point. So
and just riding your monsters out in the wild now, like, you know, to explore territories and stuff like that. Like there's different options now. Like you can like for example, Reckless can do an actual fire breath attack, you know, to monsters on the screen, and you can actually put them in a down state to where you can get a preemptive strike on them. Or like, you know, like and then there's other things like, you know, like they can still roar and incapacitate monsters, so you can run past them and other things like that. Of course, like every monster that you have as a mount, they have their own particular thing going on. So, you know, like some are good at climbing, some fly, some burrow underground, some you know, just I'm just going to bulldoze my way through everything, you know. So yeah, like there's a lot of familiar stuff, but there's a lot of new stuff in the game that actually, you know, actually makes us the seasoned players, like, you know, actually, okay, got to put a little bit of brain power behind this. I like it. I like it. I'm trying to figure out what version of the game I'm going to pre-order. Am I going to pre-order the base game, the deluxe game, or the premium deluxe game? I don't think
you need to get the one with all the swimsuit costumes.
Mm-hmm. We need to see that Rathalos in its sexy bikini.
Yeah. we need a Rathalos Speedo.
You just want to see the Rathalos horn. I know what you guys are on.
You know, don't give away the big secret.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait for the game to come out though.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It, like, I don't know, man. There's something about that art style that looks just really chef's kiss.
So I guess this would be my second game that I buy, like, straight up.
Man,
yeah, because I'm not
games I have this year.
I'm not because I'm not waiting for a discount on this. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for a PC discount for it right now.
I mean, that's fair. That is totally fair, as they say. I guess it's my turn, right? Unless you have more you've been playing, LeRon.
No. Besides that and Front Mission 3, which I'm almost finished with that. I think I'm a little past 3/4 of the way through the game. Like the only reason why it's taking me so long to beat the game is because I'm just trying to unlock as many skills as I can for the characters. Because like I said, once I beat the one campaign that I'm on, I'm moving on to something else.
Nice. As for me, I am on the final. Well, there's 31 chapters in Fire Emblem for GBA, and I'm on chapter 30. I also found out that the quote unquote Hector campaign is just hard mode, and all the levels are the same. So I'm not going to go play it. I'm not doing it. Not going to do it.
But it's Hector.
I'm like hard mode. I'm already having a hard time. Like, no way. I'm really glad I played this game because, like, you know, there's obviously a lot of franchises that we like. It's really hard to go backwards if you start at a specific place, right? Like for me, Zelda is really hard to go backwards because even though the first game I played was Link's Awakening, my first, like, I still call my first real Zelda experience Ocarina of Time, so it's really hard for me to go backwards. Although, you know, I do plan on getting to some of those 2D games I missed later this year, but I felt like I was in the mood for Fire Emblem because of Path of Radiance, and I thought if I don't play this now, I'm not gonna be in the mood later, I don't think. So the game definitely has some things I'm glad they fixed in later entries, like, I don't know, being able to purchase items in between maps instead of like going to the armory on the map and trying to get there without dying. That's definitely something that was I thought, man. And then they give you a merchant that you can't buy things from, you can only sell things to. You have to level up the merchant to like level 20, but like I deploy the merchant every single map and I'm only on level 14 and I have, you know, one chapter to go, so I don't really know how you level up your merchant, but it's fine. It's not that important. But I did find a side quest where the entire side quest is just you going to the different item shops in this village and buying and like stocking up on items. So I am really enjoying the story. I always knew, like, you know, Lynn and Hector and Ellawood were like obviously major Fire Emblem characters, but like I only know them from Fire Emblem Engage, essentially, or Fire Emblem Heroes, also the mobile game. But it's nice to see their stories and where they came from and how it's kind of like wrapping up their stories. It's fun.
I can't remember. Isn't Hector a little bit of a horn dog?
Sorta. I mean, he's kind of like
he's like the fun guy. He's the fun guy.
He's the fun guy. Sane, the knight Sane, is actually the horn dog. Every time a woman walks on screen, he's like trying to.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then Kent is the other knight that's kind of like the straight and narrow kind of guy. But there are two characters that I'm like, I have to take them every time because they, you know, I have them at max level somehow. It's Marcus, who's like the horse knight paladin, and then Oswin, who's like the thick boy.
The axe guy, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man, and when he's full powered, he's like cleaving people.
Yeah, and then I also like level up Hawkeye all the way, which you get like 2/3 of the way through the game. He's like the Native American looking dude with the tattoos on his face.
I remember that guy.
His defense is like in the 30s. I'm like, oh, you're just gonna run people over all the time.
Yeah, you just tanking them.
Yeah. I'm like, you can have 2 elixirs and 2 steel axes and this killer axe, and you can just go to town. You can just cleave through everybody at this point. So yeah, I'm really glad I played this game. I am ready to like put Fire Emblem away for a little bit. Obviously I've played 2 back to back, and this one's taken me a lot longer than I anticipated. I've restarted like every level from like level 20 through now probably 2 or 3 times. Level 27, chapter 27 was like, there's like 45 guys on the screen on the map, and then as you kill them, if you don't take over the castles, essentially, like they'll just keep respawning. And so like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to like mow my way through these enemies, and then the boss is like, you have to have a certain type of weapon to do major damage. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta be real strategic here. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. The the other games I've been playing, actually, my daughter has gotten really into Animal Crossing recently. So I've been trying to play that with her. And by play it, I mean I let her play and I'll just kind of like read the stuff she has a hard time reading. And she really likes fishing and pulling up bushes and chopping trees and collecting stuff. So it's kind of nice to find and see that she found a game that she like doesn't feel stressed out playing, because she likes Mario Kart, but when she loses, she feels really like down and kind of, I mean, she doesn't know how to play very well. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I've been playing. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to play next. Oh, the other thing I played, I played the Marathon server slam. So
what were your thoughts? Because every time I tried to log on, I could never get in.
Yeah, I mean, I played twice over the weekend, and I didn't have any issues over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I made two strong attempts to try to get in. I tried on Saturday and I tried on Sunday. And each time, on Sunday, I was actually able to successfully get in, but then like it kept timing out. Like once I was actually like trying to get ready for a map, and I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe it was just something going on my end or whatnot. I know people played the game, and I saw the concurrent counts for the weekend on Steam. I was just one of the unfortunate ones that couldn't get into it. So yeah.
I liked it. I don't love it, but also like this is clearly a game you need to spend a lot more time with than just a couple hours. And obviously it being Bungie and me being a big Destiny person, like I knew it was not Destiny. I was not expecting it to feel that different from Destiny in terms of like movement and shooting. Even though the shooting does feel like a Bungie game, it feels different than Destiny. It's like a little bit more. The term I used over the weekend was deliberate. Like everything feels more tactical and deliberate, and like learning the different kind of skeletons that you can use, right? Like the assassin, or there's I forget what the one is called. Glitch, I think, is the character, but I don't remember what her skeleton is called. And then obviously like the tanky type kind of, this is the skeleton you play as if you don't play very many games like this. So I like it. The inventory screen is very cluttered and clumsy, it feels, which I thought it was just me. I was like, man, maybe I'm just not used to playing extraction shooters. But I guess a lot of people have been complaining about the UI and just how cluttered the interface is. And, some people were calling it tech slop. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow, we have a new nickname.
So I'm interested to play more. It's I don't know. I know like the whole extraction shooter thing is like a very specific vibe. I don't know if it's for me or not. But again, this is definitely a game you should be playing with friends and communicating over mic and kind of playing together. I do like the weapon variety, I will say. I do like the fact that the way the health system works is different, because it's not a charging health. It's you have to find med packs and shield generators to recharge everything. One of the other things I do like is if you are in a building and you see enemies outside, at least a couple of the maps I was playing, the buildings have like panic doors essentially, where like they go up, like these big kind of panels go up over the windows. The doors lock, and then you have to find like a way out essentially before they break in. So that's kind of cool. Navigating the maps is, I don't know. I feel like the maps are definitely more deliberate than even Destiny maps are. I mean, I know Destiny maps are designed to be kind of really open and you find secrets and stuff, but these feel way more like deliberately designed for this type of game, which is nice to see. I do have to say though, the art style still stands out. It's still like a really great looking game. The matte kind of neon colors and the kind of tech vibe thing that it has going on, it's really cool, man. And I know like they had the whole art theft thing over last year, but like it's still an amazing looking game. I love the art style. So I'm definitely going to spend more time with it this weekend, obviously. But yeah, it's I liked it. I didn't love it, but again, it's one of those things where I'm just going to spend more time with it, I think. So, but that's it.
I look forward to playing it when it comes out.
Yeah, so it comes out tomorrow, actually. So,
yep.
As of this recording, so it'll unlock at midnight tonight. And yeah, but let's speaking of Bungie,
seems like March every year there's always that combination of a gory game or like a adult game and a kids game. Remember back in 2020 when it was Doom and Animal Crossing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do.
And now it's Pocopia and Marathon.
Yeah, that's also Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's the Barbieheimer of 2026.
Yes, the Barbenheimer of 2026.
Yeah, I kind of like that description.
Poke it in evil.
Yeah, the evil copia, evil. I don't know. Copia.
Side tangent before we get into the topics. Pat, did you watch the Pokemon Presents thing at all? Did you see the new starters? People seem to think they're cool.
I did.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Broach. They call it the seed chick or a bean chick.
Bean chick.
Bean chick, yeah, is what the official term type of Pokemon it is. I know Taylor is going to get the gecko. I forget what the gecko's name was.
Something
and
water. Gekwa or something, right? That's
Gekwa. And then of course you have the Pomeranian that looks like something that Toby Keith created or Toby Fox created.
Oh, I was like, huh?
I was like, Toby Keith.
Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale.
Yeah, that fire. I always pick fire type, so I guess I'm getting the dog. So I think it looks really nice. We'll see. I guess we'll see when it comes out if it, runs and looks better than Scarlet and Violet did on the Switch. But
yeah, no, I mean, it's a good start, and I think we need to find out a little bit more because I have heard rumors that it's going to be like islands that are procedurally generated.
Ew, what?
I've kind of heard that a little bit, but I don't know how much weight that holds.
Ew, why? I was really into
new, fresh.
No.
Why would that
randomly generated is not new and fresh? It's LLM slop. That's right. You heard me. Oh man. Sorry, I just had to say that. Anyways, not important. Pokemon Fire Dog. Ready for that. Ready for my daughter to, as soon as I turn it on, to ask me where Eevee is. Literally as soon as I turn it on. Where's Eevee?
Is that her favorite Pokemon?
She loves Eevee. Loves.
I think it's time. It's time for them to get some new Eevee evolutions. There are still types that Eevee has not gone in yet.
What was the last one they introduced? The leaf one? Or
Fairy.
The fairy one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the leaf and ice one were introduced, I believe, in 3. You had psychic and dark introduced in 2, and then you had fairy introduced in 6.
Okay.
Whatever the one where the fairy type was originally introduced, which I think was 6, the France one.
Yes. Oh, oui.
Oh.
I'm French.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, Pokemon Winds and Waves. Guess we'll talk about that next year when it comes out. Gosh, next year seems so far away yet. It's so close.
No, given that we're already in March.
I know. Don't remind me. Speaking of not being reminded of, how about first of all, which crazy thing do we want to talk about first? Sony closing Bluepoint or the Xbox?
Actually, let's talk about Sony closing Bluepoint. Let's talk about that first, because I feel like that's going to take a lot less of our energy.
I mean, is it? This was a weird. This was
soul sucking.
I was like, okay. So for those who don't know, Sony obviously bought Bluepoint after the Demon Souls remake on PS5. They were supposedly working on a live service God of War game, although that was never like confirmed by anybody except for Jason Schreier and other reporters that were whatever. They announced last Thursday that Bluepoint was closing, and it shocked a lot of people because they've done a lot of amazing work. They did the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on 360 and PS3. They did the Uncharted collection for PS4. They did obviously Demon Souls, Shadow of the Colossus remakes. They ported Titanfall to the Xbox 360 from the Xbox One, which was how I played Titanfall originally, and it was awesome.
Remind me, Bluepoint also was originally the From Japan Studios, right?
Nope, they spun out of, or they were retro people.
Oh, okay. What happened to the From Japan group?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because, we got The Last Guardian, and that was like the last we ever heard of them.
Oh, he's working on something new. Ueda is working on something. I forget what it is, but I don't know if it came out or not. But it's along this.
Bluepoint did the Shadow Colossus remake, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm mixing them together.
Yeah, and I think we all thought that the God of War remake trilogy was probably going to be remade by them too, and well, guess not. But I don't know. LeRon, I'm starting with you. How do you feel about this?
I feel like this is a really big kick in the stones, actually. Bluepoint Studio was doing a really wonderful job of handling like ports and remakes for Sony and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I feel like Bluepoint single-handedly helped save, well, not single-handedly, but it definitely helped save the PS5 launch with the Demon Souls, with Demon Souls,
I mean, what else do they have besides Miles Morales, even though that was a PS4 game too?
Yeah.
They had Sackboy's Big Adventure.
I mean,
yeah. But I mean, I don't know, like Bluepoint, I still don't understand the logic, and the more and more I read, the explanation for it, it doesn't make much sense, And then the fact that we just found out, I read this yesterday on VGC, that they actually pitched a Bloodborne remake that Sony turned down.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that people were asking for. Now, I'm not sure if that's just an unfounded rumor or someone's lying, of whatnot. But still, Sony is known for like the last 5 years, people have been begging for a Bloodborne remake.
I mean,
No,
I
they
think
haven't.
people
They've
would.
been begging for live service action games. Live service massive multiplayer games is what people have been begging for.
Yeah. I mean, look at Fair Games. Can't wait for that.
Uh,
I mean, we got our
I
Concord. We got our High Guard. Like, what more do you guys want?
I want to say that it's like, out of all the studios, right, that have either done something or haven't done things or are kind of like wasting time and money and effort at this point, right? Like, and I'm not saying like the developers themselves aren't giving any effort, but it's like you're chasing this live service initiative, but you have already purchased and shut down 2 live service studios, right? You canceled The Last of Us Online. You canceled Ben's game, which was supposedly in the Siphon Filter universe. You canceled this God of War live service game. You're putting out this, Horizon Hunters Gathering game, which, to be fair, looks fine. I mean, it looks fine. Before
Fortnite meets Monster Hunter.
It actually looks more like Dauntless. LeRon, remember that Monster Hunter
Yeah, I
ripoff?
remember.
Dauntless, not ripoff, but like, I guess Monster Hunter like and Dauntless. That was the first game I thought of when I saw this. But then like, it's like, okay, well, Sony's kind of just like lucky that they're like, PlayStation is a brand that people love, because like, if you compare, and I'm not just saying this because I would say because I play on Xbox. I really don't anymore, but I mean, I kind of do, but whatever. Anyway, it's not important. But like, you compare their portfolios this generation, it's like, it's kind of like along the same lines of like, dude, where's your output? Your 2 biggest single player games were cross gen, and Horizon and God of War. Ghost of Tsushima is like really their first kind of major single player, outside of, I guess, Spider-Man 2 also, but like,
You mean Ghost
like,
of Yotei?
Yeah, Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah. And it's like, okay, how, like, Herman Hulst.
Astrobot. They did Astrobot.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say Astrobot's high profile, like quadruple A single player story driven sad dad simulator, right? Like,
Sad Dad Simulator.
See, maybe that's a problem. Sony just keeps making the same damn game
Or the same type of game.
in all of its series.
and now,
that's
like,
what made Astrobot special, was Astrobot was not Sad Dad Simulator.
yeah, and now, like, you have these great studios that you're closing down because you were chasing this dream. Which, don't get me wrong, I think Sony should be involved in this because of A, B, or C, right? But like, don't like, utilize the talent that you have for what they're good at. Don't okay, if Bluepoint did pitch this God of War multiplayer game, like, you should have the balls to say no. You were purchased for this reason, right? You are the remake studio. It's like
Sony.
It's like asking Nixus to make a the sequel to Astrobot.
Did Bluepoint actually? I thought it was the other way around. I thought Sony told Bluepoint to make the sequel.
Supposedly, Bluepoint pitched this God of War game because they wanted to work on something that wasn't a remake. But it's like, but we purchased you to make this game, or be the remake studio. We purchased Nixus to be the PC porting studio, which, by all accounts, like, Sony's getting out of the publishing first party or single player games to PC now, apparently.
Yeah, I don't want to believe that until I actually see like something concrete.
I didn't want to believe it either until I saw like, I don't know how reputable these sites are anymore, if they're just trying to clickbait or not, but like I saw like Polygon tweet about it. I saw not Game Informer, the other one, GameSpot, talk about it. Like sites that people like, I don't want to say actually visit, but you know, like the big names from like 10 years ago essentially start talking about it, and it's like, well, what are you doing? You know, like, who's running this ship at this point? Like,
yeah, it makes zero
you
sense.
can only blame Jim Ryan for so long. He's been gone for what, 2 years now, almost 3.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got to have a good PR move now, right? Like, bring back Shuhei. Give me Vib Ribbon 2.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care about Vib Ribbon, but you know what I mean? Like, I like Sony used to be doing such creative things like Concrete Genie and
It's the wrong
Puppeteer, and
it's the wrong damn people in charge. I always knew this. Out of all the big three, well, let's put the big four in there. Let's put Sega in there. Out of the big four, Sony has always, been more beholden to their corporate overlords. I feel like Sony, then Sega, then Microsoft, then Nintendo. But now, like, if we're looking at things, it definitely looks like Nintendo is picking up the momentum for being like beholden to their corporate overlords, because like some of the Nintendo decisions that have been going on since like I'm gonna say like the last 3 years of the Switch, all the way through to right now, Switch 2 is just like, what the fuck is going on?
they are making money hand over fist is what they're doing. But I mean, look, I think maybe someone like Microsoft needs to be a little bit more handholdy, considering everything that's been going on there. But which we'll get to in a minute. But you know, and then you look at someone like Media Molecule, who hasn't made a real game since Little Big Planet 2.
Are they even around? Are they even around?
They did Dreams, and now they just announced a new project like a year ago.
Oh, I hadn't heard about the new project. I knew Dreams was the last thing they did, but I hadn't heard about a new project.
Yeah, and then like your choices of PC games, like Dreams would have killed on PC. Why didn't you port it there? You know, or like, you know, it had this kind of flimsy PlayStation VR support, but it wasn't like you had to have like the Move controllers and stuff. But it's like, why didn't you port that to PC? That would have killed on PC. Or why didn't you find a way to let players monetize this game like Roblox does or something, right? Like, they have the right ideas, and they are poorly executed at this point. Like, you know, I think they're lucky that Helldivers hit, and I think the only reason why it came to Xbox was because Xbox is the place to go where you want to play shooters. You're going to play it.
Yeah,
you're probably going to play shooters on Xbox if you're not playing on PC. And they have to make up money from the failure of Concord and these other games that just have kind of fizzled out. So it really boggles my mind what's going on over there at this point. And like, now I heard on a podcast, which I don't know how much truth there is behind this, so just grain of salt. Obviously, Corey Barlog over at Santa Monica is directing a game that is, quote, part of a franchise but feels like a new IP, but it's already part of an existing IP. There were two things brought up on this podcast. One was the Faye spin-off game of God of War. And then the other one was maybe they're doing the next Uncharted game with Cassie Drake. Because Corey Barlog likes to take franchises and reinvent them. Right? Because I think a lot of people forget, but he directed the Tomb Raider reboot. And obviously God of War. Right? So, and he didn't.
I would be down with that. I'd be down with that. Yeah,
I mean, it's also could be a sad dad simulator, you know. Old Nathan Drake with Cassie Drake.
Here we go again.
Probably Sam. I think the rumor though is that like Sam is going to be the companion character this time around.
Get Troy Baker back in the seat again.
Yeah. So, man, I still can't believe they showed that off, and then like nobody ever acknowledged it, except for like a few people in that trailer. That had to be Uncharted, right? That had to be what it was, right? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
No.
What's
I don't know,
what's
man.
up?
It's
What's
just
up,
sad.
Eddie? How are you doing? I see you in the chat.
Don't talk
What's
to
up,
Ed. I'm
Eddie?
mad at him. Don't talk to him.
Oh. The Boss Rush podcast will take a brief intermission while I get the tea.
I'm just kidding, Ed. But seriously, get back to work. Yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on how they should have maybe not closed Bluepoint, maybe tried to save this money somewhere else? Also, I think it's worth noting that Bluepoint is only 70 people. So, like, how much money are you really saving by closing the studio down?
Yeah, not a lot.
In,
And it's not
in
it's
Austin,
not like,
Texas.
Yeah, it's not even like they use a lot of resources for what they do.
Yeah.
And
like a lot of the
remakes and
foundations
remasters are hot right now. Like, that's a big thing that Capcom and Konami have obviously proved that people want. So this is a gold. You could have given Bluepoint Jack and Daxter. You could have given them Sly Cooper. Like, you could have had them revive so many of your series that brought people to your PlayStation.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, this God of War trilogy, they just announced that they already have they were already making assets for Ragnarok, and they were already working on this live service game. So like they obviously know God of War at this point. Instead of wasting Santa Monica resources internally. Or like that Uncharted 1 remake that's been rumored for a while too. Like, come on.
Do we want to? As much as I love the original Uncharted is the reason why I bought a PS3. I think everybody that knows me knows that's the reason why I bought a PS3. But
yeah, I mean, Uncharted.
Like Uncharted, do we want a remake of Uncharted?
We don't need a remake.
It's been almost 20 years. It's been 20 years since the first one.
I feel like there's nothing they can do to like enhance that game.
Yeah.
Now, maybe,
oh my gosh, I feel like they could do a lot.
I don't know. Like the collection was good. Like, obviously, if they remade this, it feels like it would just be another Last of Us remake, where it's like, what's the point of doing this?
Yeah, where it's basically lukewarm with like better visuals.
I mean, I'm not saying it would be the best decision, but if they want, I mean, the series. I mean, it's been 10 years since the last release. Like I feel like Uncharted is like, I don't know. I feel like they were on this trajectory to make Uncharted bigger because of the movie and obviously the sequels in development and like, they ported the 4 and Lost Legacy to PS5. Like, I feel like it was like on a trajectory, like and then it just vanished. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing I should be doing with Uncharted is making new games. I really feel that, because I really feel like the Uncharted, at least the original, the first 3 are. I feel like you play those games front to back. Like, it's an amazing story. It's like watching the 3 Indiana Jones movies back to back. Even though technically Temple of Doom was a prequel.
Yeah,
it was.
But I always watch Raiders, Temple, and Last Crusade. I always watch it like that, even though I know the order of the order of the storyline.
Well, you watch them in release order, man. That's the deal.
Yeah. But I don't know. Just make a new Uncharted game. Like, don't fuck around making a remake of the first one, because the first one, in my opinion, was good. It's not Uncharted 2, unfortunately, but the first one was a very good game.
The only way I would accept a remake of the first one is if it was being remade side by side with a new one, kind of like what they're doing with Tomb Raider. Like, I'll be fine with it, but I want something new.
Or like how these God of War, 1 through 3 remakes are happening. because we know they're cooking a God of War, a new God of War game right now.
Yeah. Man, I just I don't know, man. When did this industry become so messed up? Because like obviously the weird stuff over at Microsoft happened, as of today, a couple weeks ago at this point, but like
it's been
that
swirling
seemed
down.
very
It's been swirling down the drain since COVID. Like the pandemic really hurt the console generation. It did. And the more and more I think about it, like hindsight, is what it is. The more I think about it, like they should have just delayed the console launches. They should have. They should delay the console launches at least until a supply shortage shit, like was kind of resolved.
Well, so I mean, that's the rumor now is like PlayStation is moving the PS6 out to 2029 or 2030 instead of 2027. So
that's good. That's probably the best thing they can do. And it also gives them time to pad. Hey, if Nintendo could pad their freaking Switch, until like that sucker basically waved the white flag, I think Sony can do this with the PlayStation 5.
I just feel like this generation, like you said, obviously COVID had a lot to do with it, but also like the generation just still feels new. Like it feels like they haven't taken full advantage of anything.
It feels
this
like
generation.
It feels like I just took my PS5 out the box. It really does.
I mean, I literally did.
We've heard more games been canceled than there's been new games
been released. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like I know people like to call me the Nintendo person, me and Ed, but like you look at the output of Nintendo versus Sony versus Microsoft, and it's like, well, Microsoft has a bunch of smaller games, but where are their big AAA heavy hitters? Or Sony releases kind of like one first/second party game every half, it feels like. And then every 6 weeks Nintendo has something coming out, but people say Nintendo has no games, and it's like, well, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo kind of figured out the like how to navigate the roadmap of like it also probably helped that they had a generation where like they didn't sell anything, but here's a re-release, here's a new game, here's a smaller game, here's a big tentpole game, here's a Mario game that we've probably been sitting on for a year and a half, right? Like,
now that you point that out, Nintendo does have pretty good cadence. They do.
Every 6 weeks, it's literally every 6 weeks they have something.
It just feels like to the consumers that are actually waiting for something big. It just feels like nothing ever happens until the thing happens.
Well, I feel like if it's not Mario or Zelda, like it's like Nintendo, it's not putting anything out, right? Like I feel like there are like quote unquote Nintendo fans who are like Mario or Zelda fans, and then there's like the true Nintendo fan who has to go buy everything that comes out, and it wasn't even until recently where stuff like Fire Emblem started blowing up, and even Donkey Kong. I still like. I know it was a launch window game and everything, but I feel like it underperformed. I feel like Donkey Kong underperformed. I think like the Nintendo Switch 2, even the Nintendo Switch 2 editions of these games, it's like people forget like the Switch launch lineup was exactly the same. It launched with a Wii U game. Its biggest seller was a Wii U game. Like I think half of its top 20 were Wii U ports. Like the Switch launch year also had a lot of ports or like Switch editions of these Wii U games, but nobody bought a Wii U, so it didn't affect anybody. You know
what game's going to be an interesting one to watch? I think Pokemon Pokepia is going to be very interesting to watch. This might be the Animal Crossing for Switch 2.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Like the one that's going to convince, the moms and the grandmoms and like the very casual people to pick up a Switch too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will. I don't know. Given that it doesn't move the needle for me, like I'll defer to your guys' opinion on that.
I just feel like these farming sims are much bigger even than they were like 5 years ago, right? Like I feel like Animal Crossing really put Stardew Valley also, right? Really put these games kind of on the map, so to speak. And to have a Pokemon themed one is like, with all these Pokemon doing different types of jobs for you based on their powers. Like I feel like that's such a
It's a novel idea.
novel idea for these games. And like Pokemon's huge anyway. And if they update it frequently, like I feel like they could really do some interesting things with it. And yeah, Pat, I think you're right. I think this is going to be the one to watch. We'll watch its career with great interest.
Mm-hmm. I know I'm picking it up when it launches tomorrow.
Yeah, my kids have been really getting into Pokemon recently because it's everywhere now, right? Because of the anniversary and they're the YouTube videos they watch. Like my daughter watches these content creators open these blind bags, and they've been doing Pokemon ones recently, and it's like, oh, gosh, come on, guys, you gotta stop.
Are you still doing the Pokemon TCG like openings like with your kids? Are you still doing that?
Yeah, not as often, but we still do it once in a while, especially when there's like a new update. And like there was a couple months ago at this point, there was like an Eevee Island pack expansion come out, and it was just all Eevees essentially.
I was curious because when you said that one night on the podcast, I was like, that's one of the most wholesome things I've heard.
Yeah, my daughter still likes to do it once in a while, especially if she's had like a rough day or something. She likes to like open them and get excited about what we open and stuff. My son, not so much. He's more of like I don't know. His favorite game right now is called Battle, where every night before we go to bed, he like jumps on me and just, takes out the rest of his energy. And,
I feel like he's been playing that game for the last 3 years.
I mean, he has off and on, but he would call it Battle, and then he would like, kind of like roll around or jump on me or whatever. And now he's like using his fists to like, he does this thing with his mouth where he's like this, and then like the pain is coming, and so you just kind of like, curl up in a ball and hope it doesn't hurt so bad. Dude, my son's getting so big. He's gonna be 5 in like a month. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, he's so big.
I remember when that son of a gun was just being born.
Yeah.
God, how's that time flies, but for some strange reason we have these things stuck in time,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's weird. Life's weird, man. My son is also like, I don't know. It's weird. My daughter is like more into games than my son is. My son plays the same 3 games all the time, and he'll play it for like an hour, and then he'll want to go play with his toys. Like he's a toy kid, Or my daughter likes to sit down. I don't know. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. But my daughter's more of like I want to sit down and learn how to play this, or I want to sit down and watch you play, or whatever. She was really wanting to get into Disney Dreamlight Valley for a while, but that's like really complicated for her. So I don't know why she started getting into Animal Crossing. She brought it up at one point a couple weeks ago somehow. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, anyways, what were we talking about besides all this garbage feeling?
Yeah,
you were talking about Pokemon.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, man. It just feels like Nintendo kind of like figured it out after the Wii U, right? Like, Ed and I used to say the Switch is just the Wii U kind of realized, where like, oh, you can play it on the TV or in handheld mode, but they just put the console in the wrong part of the box. And so like now that this thing is stronger and is kind of like powerful, they have access to a lot more, which gives them a little bit of breathing room for their franchises, right? Like, oh, we can play Final Fantasy and Resident Evil on this thing now in Cyberpunk, and we can kind of spread out our releases more because we have that third-party support. And Sony is kind of, I'm just using PlayStation as an example, but they're just kind of like, I feel like they're lucky to be in the winning position essentially, because everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna, we're gonna play, NBA 2K there because that's where our friends are, or because I feel like a lot of people still don't know that like crossplay exists, or certain things like that exist, that a lot of people still just go where their friends are playing. Oh, my friend has a PlayStation, they're playing Madden or 2K, and we'll just go over there and play it, or they have exclusive skins or whatever, right? Or even like Silent, they still have timed exclusives, right? Like Silent Hill, the new Silent Hill is a timed exclusive, right? So they have things like that, so it allows them to kind of make these mistakes that they're making without anybody really noticing, and at least the general public. But I don't know. I mean, Wolverine was announced 4 years ago, and it's just now coming out 5 years ago, I think. Right? So, still looks good though.
Let me ask you a question before we wrap this topic up, because I'm checking the chat, and Ed said maybe it was because Bluepoint wasn't bringing in or could bring in the sales numbers like Naughty Dog, Insomniac, or Santa Monica. I wonder about that statement, because I mean, like, technically, like, Bluepoint was the remake studio, so remakes and remasters only work when the nostalgia is there. Look, this is why the Legacy of Kain just did so well just recently. Proportionately speaking, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would also say,
imagine the budgets weren't that big for Bluepoint, so it'd be a lot easier for them to make the money.
Yeah.
The studio is a third the size. The budgets are smaller, so they don't need to sell as many.
They've already got assets, from the original game, because like every game, well, I mean, unless you're doing something like as daunting as like the Dead Space remake was, because like they actually rebuilt everything from the ground up, and they did so much for Dead Space remake, like they basically mapped out the entire ship to now where everything connects. Like you can literally walk from one spot to the other in the game, which was not possible in the original game.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it, like I said, 70 people versus you look at Santa Monica, and that's what, 350 people, God of War probably cost them $200 and something million to make, at least. Bluepoint probably spent 100 million, maybe max, on the Demon Souls remake, and that game sold a ton of units. So
I feel like that one would have. I feel like there would have been less than 100. Like, there's very little voice acting in that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could have been like maximum 100 million. I mean, it probably could have been like 60 or 70 million. But then you turn around and look at Ghosts of Yotei, and they said they spent the same amount of money, relatively the same amount of money as Ghost of Tsushima, and Ghost of Tsushima's budget was 60 million. So, like, even with inflation, you're talking about what, 75, 78 million dollars for Ghosts of Yotei, and it's like, how these budgets, man, they're just getting so out of control. And like, how is this happening?
Yeah,
it gets me so frustrated.
Something's being mismanaged for sure, and I say that about all the companies right now: Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony.
Where are the producers?
Yeah,
where are these producers at, and why aren't they like keeping people on track? Or like, let's talk about Xbox now. Like, I mean, Matt Booty was head of first party. You're telling me Fable's taking 9 years to make?
And
I get it; it's a big game, but like, what do you like? 9 years? Why even make it at that point?
This is good to segue into the whole Xbox like shakeup, because
that's what I'm saying. Because
out of the three names that are involved, Matt Booty, Sarah Bond, and Phil Spencer, Matt Booty is the most failingest one out of all three of them.
I'm quite aware of this. Josh and I had a good time talking about Matt Booty and Aaron Greenberg are the ones that survived this chaotic restructure. Like, they're the two worst ones. How many times can Aaron Greenberg take a selfie at the Halo thing? He took a selfie with a PlayStation controller. Like, I understand. I understand that Halo's coming to PlayStation, but like, you're the head of marketing for Xbox. You should be like championing Xbox, and like, I don't know how many more times he can like promote things you can't buy, or I don't know. Look, I'm sure he's a good dude, just like I'm sure Matt Booty's a good dude. But like, it's like the fact that Matt Booty got promoted to chief creative officer blows my mind. Like it shattered my brain. I feel like I look. I understand Minecraft is a huge deal, right? Because that's the side of the business he came from, right? Was the Minecraft deal.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that Minecraft has grown beyond what anybody probably thought it was when they first released it, right? But like, the fact that he's championing like Hi-Fi Rush, like literally like hours before they closed the studio, or like you know, some of these other things, like what? Somebody save me here.
Okay. All right.
It's a perfect analogy of how Xbox is going. It's how you're going right now.
Yeah, I do want to say though,
tail spinning.
It's like they're falling running upstairs, basically.
No, it's like they can't go a week without bad news or somebody else's bad news taking the limelight. Like Sony closes Bluepoint on Thursday, and they're like, and Matt Booty walks up to Herman Holtz to hold my beer, and he goes and steps on 37 rakes, Tom and Jerry style. Like, what are you doing?
Oh man. Okay. So
here's the thing, though. I want to be just this last thing real quick because I know we're going to talk a lot of negative about Xbox going on right now. I actually have some positive things to say about Asa Sharma, the new CEO. I've been doing a lot of like research on her the last week and a half or so, and listening to a lot of people within the Xbox realm.
Okay.
But
I want to hear this because right now I'm just
I want to get through the negatives first, but I do want to get through the negatives first. But yeah, LeRon, go save me.
Okay, so out of all this stuff that's been going on with Microsoft, the one thing that infuriates me, as a matter of fact, I returned to Twitter with this. The whole thing with Sarah Bond, I'm just like, there is something cataclysmically wrong, because they were basically grooming her to take over Xbox after Phil Spencer retired or resigned or whatever and stuff like that. Phil Spencer resigns and she's out, and we don't. And out of all the people, we don't hear a statement. We don't get a statement from her, which means there's got to be there's got to be an NDA out there somewhere. They are definitely like censoring her for some strange reason. And
no, it's clear that she got let go. It's very clear. I mean, it could have been a mutual let go, but it was one of those, you're out of this company one way or another.
Yeah, but also like some of the stuff doesn't make sense because like if that Verge article is supposed to be believed, which I don't fucking believe it, she was the pioneer of this is an Xbox, and I'm sorry, this is an Xbox sounded like some Phil Spencer shit, because he was already trying to spin that when we got rid of the whole, when he was the one that pitched about like, oh, Xbox doesn't, we don't need exclusives. Like, why do we need exclusives? Nah, something doesn't make sense. And like I said, she was groomed to be their replacement for Phil Spencer. But we can all tell that Phil Spencer got ousted, so why the hell did they just like fire her or terminate her or whatever, and we don't even know. She's been radio silent, so she probably got a severance package, but because we can't find out a damn thing about what's going on with her. Plus, female leadership at a CEO level. I'm not even going on the fact that it's a black woman in leading in electronics. I'm not even going on that. Just female leadership and CEO-ship in the electronic sector in video gaming.
I don't know if that one can stand though, because the CEO is now a female.
That is true.
Like, that is true. Hires now.
Yeah, that is true. But you already had one.
Yeah.
I-
Also, Microsoft CEO is also a person of color, if you want
Yeah.
to go that
Yeah.
far.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the way Sarah Bond was like the way she exited seems very
It's sus.
it's interesting because like you know when Phil Spencer gave his statement, right, he was the only one that mentioned Sarah Bond in any capacity in his statement, right? Matt Booty didn't mention her when he gave his promotional statement. Asha Sharma didn't give anything. Satya
Mhm.
Nadella didn't say anything, right? It was all
Some-
praise for Phil, right?
Something is wrong.
Which great, right? Like Phil did a lot for the Xbox brand, right? More towards the front end of his tenure than the back end, but you know, I think he did a lot of good things for Xbox. And we all thought that we were all anticipating Phil's retirement either at the end of the 25th anniversary celebration or at the end of this console life cycle. He was going to see the next box launch and then Sarah was going to take over, right? I think that's how probably 99.9% of us saw Xbox going. The fact that she wasn't mentioned in any of these statements at all was like insane. You know, obviously that hit piece came out on her essentially.
I'm glad you said it, because every time I
Mhm.
turn around and say it's a hit piece, people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, it's pretty scathing that, you know, employees didn't like her, people left because of her, people hated this you know, this is an Xbox messaging type thing, which to be fair, I think a lot of us didn't really care for that messaging to say, hey, don't buy our box. You know.
But the person that we cannot hear from is the person they're landing that on. I don't believe that shit.
So she did give a statement, and she was at the exit party, but she was also the only one that didn't give a speech at the exit party. She was like in the back of the room. Apparently, Jez
Maybe
Corden was talking about this on the Xbox 2 podcast. So
maybe she was just sick of their shit.
I mean, wouldn't you be if you thought you were being, you know, kind of groomed for this position, and then, you know, 6 months ago they bring, or, you know, essentially said, you know, according to, I don't know, Phil's statement, like he's been working with her for a few months and she's been there for, you know, a little bit over 2 years with the core AI unit. And like,
What burns me up about this whole thing with Sarah Bond is like they threw her to the wolves last summer with that nonsense. You know, they put her on stage and it was obvious that her hands were tied. She couldn't say a damn thing about what was going on last summer with their bullshit.
yeah,
So I have a theory. I have a theory now. Like she wanted to definitely correct the ship and stuff like that. But it's one of those reverse situations of the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Yeah, the squeaky wheel in this, I guess in this place, like got replaced. You know, because I have a funny feeling that she was trying to air out like the stuff and say, hey, this is the stuff that we need to fix, and this is the stuff that we need to be held accountable for. And PR spin or whatever was like, oh no, just keep quiet, it'll be all right, and, you know, like they're patting her on the back as they're walking her the fuck out the door.
yeah. I'm kind of that vein as you, LeRon, where I feel like Sarah Bond was. Let me back up a little bit. I feel like Phil Spencer specifically. He's been at Microsoft for almost 40 years, right? Like
Yeah, because he was like,
he
what?
knew
He was like
he was about to
80s or
retire.
90s higher. I can't remember.
I feel like when he found out that the plan that he wanted to do with, like, you know, he did good of like convincing Satya to keep Xbox around, right? Like, you know, Satya is a cloud guy, right? He comes from the cloud space.
And
Why did Xbox stick around? Project X Cloud. The cloud gaming initiative saved Xbox because Satya believed in everything was moving to cloud. And so, you know, Phil convinced him that that's why Xbox should stick around. There, he laid out like this kind of grand plan or whatever. Sarah comes in, kind of pitches Play Anywhere, right? And that kind of becomes more of a thing. then, I feel like once Phil realized that Sarah was probably going to take over, he kind of took a back seat a little bit to like making the major decisions. And he was more like, there was that piece that came out that said Phil helped integrate the Activision Blizzard stuff into the business while Sarah kind of took over, the front facing stuff, which probably took a big toll on him, between the purchase, the trial, because Phil did not want to buy Activision Blizzard, right? Like I feel like he did not.
I felt that.
You're looking at around that time companies that were being purchased or for sale. You look at Crystal Dynamics, IDOS Montreal, IO Interactive, Bungie, all those studios would have fit within like the parameters of the studios that Phil was buying at the time, right? Like Ninja Theory and Compulsion, and they kind of have that, these are single player experiences, these would be good, smaller games to fill Game Pass with, right? Then you have your live service with Destiny on all platforms, whatever. And then if Sarah was like key to getting the Activision Blizzard thing over the line, and he had to sit there through the trials and kind of go through all that and integrate it into the business and figure out how Call of Duty would work in Game Pass, since they promised first party would be in Game Pass, that probably took a huge toll on him. And he was he said last year he was ready to retire, and I don't know how much of that is fluff just for the statement or what, but like, I feel like Sarah still had a lot of, she's younger. She's way more ambitious, I feel like, at this point in her career than Phil is, because he's reached the pinnacle. She wanted to do different things with the brand, and I feel like it wasn't fitting. And they let her know way later than they probably should have. It looks like.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping she lands on her feet. And like whatever she winds up doing is the biggest fuck you to like a big ass tech corporation, that basically rules and dominates our lives. Like, I mean, if Microsoft doesn't rule and dominate our lives, Apple does,
Yeah. So I hope she'll land somewhere. She's,
we just need to watch what happens with her.
I don't even know if it's going to be in games. It'll probably be in technology somewhere, but I don't know if it'll be in games, honestly.
I don't think it'll be in games either. I think whatever happened at Microsoft definitely left the baddest taste in her mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But now we have Asha Sharma, who met with Major Nelson this week. She also gave a couple interviews, one with Windows Central that a lot of people thought was kind of a layup kind of interview, but don't you want to lay the groundwork with new leadership? If you are given 10 minutes, you don't want to throw like all these, crazy questions all at once. Like, you want to set up and build a relationship and then ask the questions in a way that makes sense, right? Like,
yeah,
that's my opinion. I'm not a journalist, but that would be my opinion on that. But she did say a couple good things in her initial statement. She does not come from games, but she does come from areas of tech where she builds platforms, right? Like Instacart built that from essentially the ground up, right? Like, nobody knew what Instacart was before the pandemic. After the pandemic, it's like synonymous with grocery delivery, right? You look at Meta and the Messenger app, right? Like, it works across all of Meta's platforms now, right? Like, that was her thing. Mm-hmm. She was very integral in making that work across Instagram and WhatsApp and Facebook, and Messenger works everywhere now. That was her. The thing she did with Core AI for Microsoft, a little less known, especially to gamers, because obviously AI is a dirty word for gamers. But she obviously did enough to show that she could potentially run a business unit of Microsoft. So I think she was brought in to be the CEO for platform growth and less of a gamer, because obviously she's come out and said she's not a gamer, which is fine, right? Like, we don't need a gamer. I mean,
I appreciate the transparency. I do.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Strauss
and, and,
Strauss
and,
Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, is notoriously not a gamer, but look how many franchises he runs that are
and
billion-dollar franchises. You know.
And just to be clear for everybody who's listening right now, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with her at all. I don't.
I don't either.
Even though I am like visibly seething about Sarah Bond, I don't have a problem with Asha. Not at all.
Mm-hmm. It's not her.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
I don't think it's her fault the way that things ended. Right? She was brought in to be the new person. That doesn't mean it was her fault, right? Like, I think a lot of people are giving her grief for that aspect as well. But
yeah, like this is the regime change, and you know what? I don't have a problem with her specifically. More my ire is towards Nadella than to anybody. And probably, well, actually, Matt Booty, because Matt Booty is like, oh, why is you here? You know?
Yeah, dude.
Like, I sabotaged the career of 2 other people ahead of me. Why are you now the one?
And you know what? That could very well be it too. He was like, yeah, if I get Phil and Sarah out the way, it's all me. I'm the CEO, and then here comes Sharma, and it's like, what?
If anybody from Xbox's first party leadership, I would have promoted the woman who's, I forget what her name is, but she's the CEO of Blizzard, or the president of Blizzard, and how she's turned Blizzard around the last couple of years, right? Like, everybody's happy now because Overwatch is back to Overwatch, right? Like, Diablo is, Diabloing, and World of Warcraft seemingly has a few. Yeah.
Hey, can you believe that they re-brought Diablo 2 back? They're like,
I know, they put an expansion out. I can't believe it. Like, who's still playing Diablo 2? No offense, but like,
everyone is now.
The way you said that, Diablo's Diabloing. That's like every dude that realizes they're hot, that they're in front of the mirror, like naked, just like shaking it. That's what it sounded like. Diablo's Diabloing.
But I mean, my point is, like, I feel like the I can't believe I'm forgetting her name right now, but like, I would have promoted her and put her in where Matt Booty is, and put the boot to Matt Booty, right? Like,
yeah.
But
Joanna Ferries.
Yes, thank you. But I think she said a lot of great things, especially for Xbox. Again, actions more than words, right? Like our friend of the show, Lord Cognito, said on Iron Lords and on Xbox 2 when he was on that show. Actions speak louder than words, but her words are good to kick things off. It's been a week and a half, right? You can't turn this ship around, but no, she said,
I'm gonna give her a fair chance. I am. Like, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, like, the only way for Xbox to go is either up or straight to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the rumor that the co-creator said that she's there to sunset the division?
See, I know people have their opinions on Shane Blackley in one way or another, right? But I feel like if you were going to do that, you would have just either promoted Matt Booty or let Sarah Bond stay and finish out her plan to transition Microsoft into more of a PC gaming entity and a publisher than a platform holder. I feel like the fact that she's younger, she's driven, she already has a plan laid out, and also the fact that she has given us more statements of clarity than Xbox has in the last 3 years, essentially, on what she wants to do with the platform, is like a big kind of like, no, we're going to invest in this. We brought in somebody young with fresh ideas. Let's see how this works. I don't think I don't think they brought her in to sunset a platform, especially when she's all about platform growth, is her whole thing. There are a couple things in her statement that I really liked, specifically from an Xbox console perspective, that they're going to focus on Xbox and what made Xbox, what it is, starting with the console, bringing back the renegade spirit that kicked off the Xbox 25 years ago. I know a lot of that's just kind of like fluff statement, but also I think that means a lot to the community. We're going to, focus on the gamers who have invested in this platform for at least 25 years, and spent their hard earned money on it. We're not going to fill the consoles with AI slop, which I'm sure Satya loved hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Considering he called it a bicycle for the mind, is what he called AI at one point, which I'm sure he typed into AI. What is AI for? How do humans use AI? It's a bicycle for the mind. That sounds good.
You see, like we know he's shitting bricks right now because like he needs AI to be successful, and like everything right now, all the tech analysts are saying we're looking at a bubble that could burst next week, next month, a year from now, but they're all in agreement it's going to burst.
Yeah, and
you got to admit that the AI. I mean, AI is definitely a useful tool, but the way people are using it, it is slop. Like, people are purposely like making those AI generated like movies in 5 seconds that or based. You know what I'm talking about? How people are just making garbage with this, and that's what's drawing people's anger towards the AI. Is like, oh look, people think this is what's going to replace jobs.
Well, it's not just that. A lot of that quote unquote slop is out there is just wasting everybody's time. It's either wasting a lot of people's time. It's wasting a lot of people's time in one or two ways. Like like you've got the people who are so duped by it that it's wasting their time, but then it's wasting everybody else's time. For people who have to remind their parents, their octogenarian parents that like they're like this is not real. Do not spend money on this. Now it's just a big I people can do what they want to do. Like a lot of times people are just playing around, experimenting, trying to see what it's going to do, but there's a lot of people that know, hey, there's gullible people out there, we can make money off of them and stuff like that. And then like there's the whole other thing with AI, where it's like it's killing our economy on a monetary level.
I mean, even on a
I wasn't going to talk about climate. I wasn't talking about climate tonight because we got way too much stuff going on in the world right now. Like I don't want to talk about climate, but I can definitely talk about economy because everybody is unable to save money right now because
here's my thing on AI. It's like there are two things I like to compare it to, at least in different aspects. Like I feel like when computer animation started really showing its teeth, like animators started getting really scared for their jobs, right? The animation didn't go away. The knowledge and the tools you needed to use to animate changed. When Photoshop started coming around, a lot of traditional photographers thought that, photography was going to go away. Mm-hmm. Photography didn't go away. The tools you use to, make your pictures look better or, touch things up, those tools change. And I feel like AI is just the next way, like at least the way that people see ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever. I feel like these tools are tools. They're tools to help you be more efficient. They're not going to take your jobs. They're going to change the way people do their jobs. Yes, some jobs will be eliminated, right? That's just how technology works though, right? Like there's no hand-drawn animators anymore, right? But people still know how to draw. It's not like that's going away. But professionally, the tools are going to change. And so, I appreciate that, getting it back to the Xbox stuff, where Matt Booty and Asha Sharma came out and said, we're not forcing our studios to use AI. They can use the tools as they need. They can use it to make the games that they want to make. And, again, could be fluff. Depends on what Satya thinks. But back to her statement, I feel like she said a lot of good things that are promising if they follow through. Again, the actions need to speak. But
here's one thing I will say to all the people who were like pissed off at her statement. Like, if you use a little bit of critical thinking, you would see that, like she's not being shilly. You would see that,
Yeah.
I can't speak to how much she actually cares about things, but I can say that, if you actually read the statement, take the time, absorb the words that were said and everything, you will understand that, she has some type of passion there.
Yeah.
But
I really think,
but then again, we could also say this when Sarah Bond made her, her first speech, her first tour, her first like presser or whatever,
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I feel like she could bring a lot of fresh ideas to the brand if they let her do what she can. Again, I don't think that her not being a gamer is a big deal, because like I said, look at 2K. Strauss Zelnick. 2K is one of the biggest brands in gaming, and he doesn't play games at all. But he understands how games work and monetization works and how platforms work, right? And so I think you can kind of apply that to her way of thinking with this, right? And she's looking at growing Xbox. So we'll see. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. So, all right. We only got a few minutes left here, so why don't we get into Attaboy and get it together? Pat, what is your Attaboy this week?
Oh, man. You know what? I will say, since it's been a month, I will say attaboy to Konami. The revival that they had for the State of Play, like, I'm proud of them. Like, I lost a lot of faith when they decided to just go straight to pachinko and stop making games, but it looks like they are sincere. They may not be making the games themselves anymore, it seems like, which is fine. They're letting other studios take on these IPs that were beloved to me growing up, and like we're expanding them. I'd never thought we'd get another Castlevania in my lifetime, to be perfectly honest with you. And here we are. We're getting another Castlevania game.
A good
so,
studio
attaboy
too.
Konami. Yeah, good studio.
Yep. Keep going. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
I guess, like, get it together would be like the two companies that we talked about, to be perfectly honest. Microsoft and Sony just need to get it together.
Yep, I agree. LeRon.
This attaboy goes to Capcom. Looks like Capcom's going to have a wonderful close out to their winter season, and probably a nice kick-ass start to their spring. First of all, thank you, Capcom, for fixing Monster Hunter Wilds on the PC. Thank you. There's still work that needs to be done on it, but thank you. The game is now playable. I don't have to worry about frame gen anymore. I don't have to worry about crazy little nonsense that basically feels like the game is broken. Thank you for that. Congratulations on the wonderful launch for Resident Evil 9. Yes, you guys are doing well. We've got another Monster Hunter game coming out real soon. You guys are doing all right. The Pragmata demo, I messed around with it for a split second, but didn't have enough time to dedicate real time to actually playing it. But the game looked impressive from what I played. Attaboy Capcom, I can't say much else about that. I'm going to go a slightly different route this time. My Get It Together is going to be for the gaming community as a whole. We've had some really good showcases lately, and like it is brain boggling how everybody has a complaint about something for every one of these shows. Sony had the tightest state of play in like 3 years, recently. People had problems.
Ever.
No, I wouldn't say ever. But people had problems.
It's been a while.
People had problems with that. Like the producer direct for Nintendo left a lot to be desired, but Nintendo's last direct before that was pretty stellar, and people were just I don't know, like I don't even know what to say about that. Even the Microsoft developer direct was not bad. If anything, I would say the worst showing for this year as far as like stuff like that goes is the Game Awards, because the Game Awards put what's the game?
Highguard.
Highguard, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Put Highguard out there, and Highguard just announced today that they're releasing one more patch. One more patch is probably going to be available to gamers for 8 or 9 days, and then the game is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And just so people know, Highguard, the reason why Highguard it was even showcased at the Game Awards is because Jeff Keighley got a boner for that game when he saw some of it in development, and he basically pushed these guys to actually put it onto the show. And where did it land in the show? It landed in the coveted spot of being the closeout game of the show. And we kind of saw in real time, like what happened that night. We saw that,
Mm-hmm.
and then come to find out that like the developers was like, this isn't ready. Like, we're not ready to unveil this, and definitely don't unveil this like it's the end all be all of gaming and stuff like that. So yeah, so
I think that spot was bought now that we've gotten more information who actually funded that game.
who funded
It's
the
true.
who funded the game?
And
Oh yeah,
was
that's
the
right.
one
That's
that
right.
funded the game. So
Well,
That's right.
it was more likely the spot was bought than Jeff actually promoting it.
So basically, Jeff wanted it in the show, and they were like, "Yeah, put it." And Tencent was like, "Here's money, put it here."
Mm-hmm. Probably column A, column B, little bit of both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's my run for it. So, Attaboy, Capcom, Get Together, Gaming Community, and Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
And Tencent.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a car tonight. You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah.
Everybody gets one tonight.
So I'm going to say, attaboy, Marvel, for announcing that awesome collection of retro Marvel games, including the X-Men arcade game that is 6-player online. They also are including the Spider-Man Maximum Carnage game. There's and Captain America and the Avengers arcade game. So there's like 6 games on this collection. I also think that they just updated Marvel, the Cosmic Invasion game, and put new costumes in it. And they're going to announce DLC soon, I've been hearing. So that's cool. I just think that they've been doing a lot of, Disney in general, kind of with their classic games collections, putting them out and updating them and everything. Like Disney just updated the Disney Afternoon collection with 2 old new games when they released it on Switch. So that's cool. So yeah, that's my attaboy. That I'm really excited for the X-Men arcade game, man. I love that game so much.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, might Get It Together, man. There's a lot to get it together, man. The whole, obviously, everything we just talked about tonight, but like, I want to say publishers and producers at these different developers need to get it together, and not all of them, obviously. There's some really good ones. I think, Atari's doing a great job at finding things. I think like Pat said, Konami's doing a great job of finding studios, but man, like the fact that like Fable's taking 9 years, or some of these games are taking 7, 8, 9 years to make at $300-400 million, and what are you doing? Games are supposed to be fun and these artistic, interesting things that we love and enjoy. And the fact that I feel like we come on here every week and just kind of complain about something else bad that happened or something. And it's like, come on, guys. Like,
trust me, we don't want to complain about this shit.
No, I want to come on here and say like, yeah, I'm excited because like we are playing awesome games that are and there's great games released every week, and it's like, man.
Yeah, like I feel like it's been a while since we come on the show and be like, we're fired the fuck up.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's been hard. It's been hard to pay attention to the games industry the last 3 to 6 months in particular. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I haven't been paying attention to it, to be honest. But anyways, yeah. Oh, I had another get it together also, but I'll save that for the next time because Bungie delayed their in-game update for Destiny. Not even a new expansion or a new season or anything, just the update by 3 months. So, yikes. Anyways, speaking of 3 months, it's time for us to get out of here. I don't know how that transitions.
3 months?
That's how it's going to work. I want to thank everyone out there for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush podcast. You can catch us live on Wednesday nights on YouTube and X and Twitch and other platforms. LeRon, Pat, thank you for your time tonight, as always. Pat, safe travels next week. I know you're going to be traveling the next few weeks.
Yes, man.
So,
this month is going to be busy for travel. It's going to be fun, but I'm going to get my miles going.
Yeah, hope you have those those airline miles racking up. So yeah, safe travels. Be safe, have fun, do all the fun things. And everybody out there, you also have fun and be safe. And thank you so much for watching and listening. Until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Francisco Santillan, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., and Fitzpatrick. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.